There is no doubt that the Specialized Turbo Levo is one of the most well-known EMTBs in the United States when it comes to excellent EMTBs with the Brose Motor. The custom FSR linkage system, the big 700 watt-hour batteries, and also the powerful Brose S Mag motor have made this EMTB a household name. So much so that sometimes it feels like Specialized is the only way to go if you're looking for a Brose motor in the United States. But that is not completely the case. You've also got another excellent company doing excellent Brose EMTBs, Bulls. The Bulls E-Stream EVO has consistently been a top Brose S Mag seller for us. Now, it might not have the same market-crushing name as Specialized, but these Bulls E-Stream EVOs are some of the best bikes that we have ridden with Brose motors. We would argue that both of these brands have a legitimate claim to one of the top Brose EMTB companies in the nation. So today, we're going to compare them side by side to see who's spec'd out better, to see who performs better, and to see which bike you should be looking at based on your riding style. Before we go any further, make sure to subscribe to the Fly Rides Electric Bike channel and also hit the bell, because we will have all things EMTB for you, whether you're doing research or just trying to stay up to date on the most recent e-bike trends. We will be here to give you the most relevant information. So let's get into this. It's the Specialized Turbo Levo comp versus the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4. So of course, the main reason we're comparing these two bikes side by side is because the motor they are using. That is the Brose S Mag. The Brose S Mag caused quite the ruckus when it came onto the scene, being the first EMTB motor with a magnesium casing, which significantly lowered the weight, and it still offered 90 Newton meters of torque, which is a ton of power, along with a belt-driven system that Brose developed back in the day to keep their motors extremely quiet. So it had a couple of big things going for it. It was lightweight, it was quiet, and it was powerful. Brose continues to be one of the top electric bike motor brands in the country, and both Bulls and Specialized have taken advantage of their slightly more open systems than a lot of e-bike motor companies allow for, so that they can tune the motor specific to the needs of their bikes. That was one of the main draws, I'm sure, for Specialized, as they actually renamed their motor to the Specialized Custom Trail Tuned 2.1 motor, but it is a Brose motor with some tuning so that it is optimized for the Specialized Turbo Levo. And while we don't have specific information on what Bulls has done with theirs, they, I'm sure, have also done some tuning so that it fits their E-Stream EVO AM4 as well. But we're not just here to talk about what the bikes have in common, we're trying to figure out which one you should be getting. So let's talk about the spec differences. Starting off with the drivetrains, on the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4, you are getting a Shimano Dior XT derailleur. It is a 12-speed derailleur on a 10 to 51 tooth cassette. I'm going to go ahead and rope in the battery here as well, because the batteries work along with that drivetrain to propel you up hills. It is a 750 watt-hour supercore battery from the Bulls E-Stream EVO. As it turns out, on the Specialized Turbo Levo comp, you are also going to be getting a Shimano derailleur with a 10 to 51 tooth cassette, and it is 12 speeds, but it is the Shimano SLX derailleur, and it's going to be a 700 watt-hour battery, so 50 watt-hours less than the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4. For this reason, we are giving the slight edge to the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4 for a better derailleur and also a slightly bigger battery. On the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4, the group set is rounded out with Shimano Dior XT hydraulic disc brakes. They are 4-piston. It is a 203mm rotor up front and a 180 in the rear. And similarly, again, on the Specialized Turbo Levo comp, they continue to round out the group set with a Shimano SLX hydraulic disc brakes, only difference being it is 203mm rotors front and rear, so a slightly bigger rotor on that rear brake. This one's a little bit more of a toss-up on these brakes, probably a slight edge in terms of the type of brake from the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4, but I am a big fan of having that extra dissipation power on bigger rotors, so it's nice to have those 203mm rotors front and rear on the Specialized. So I'd say brakes, we're looking at about even on this one. Suspension-wise, both bikes are very similar. The Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4 is going to come with a Fox Float 36 rhythm fork, and in the back it is a Fox Float DPS rear shock. These are going to have 150mm of travel front and rear. And on the Specialized Turbo Levo comp, it turns out it is exactly the same setup, but One big difference, 160 millimeters of travel up front, which gives the edge definitely to Specialized on this one. We should also talk quickly about their linkage systems. So the linkage system on the Bulls bike is going to be a pretty traditional, typical 4-point system, but on the Specialized bike, you are getting that really, really nice, and I honestly love it, the FSR suspension system. While it is a 4-point suspension system, there is just something nice about it. It's a little bit more fine-tuned, and it is custom to Specialized. So we're giving the edge to Specialized on this one. Wheel sets and tires on the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4, you are getting a 27.5-inch wheel set and a Hans Dampf tire that is 2.8 inches wide, so it's a more traditional EMTB setup with plus-size tires and a 27.5-inch wheel. Meanwhile, on the Specialized has gone the way that the industry has gone, more with 29er wheels. So a lot of companies have switched totally to 29er wheels on these more all-mountain style bikes. So it is an eliminator and a grid tire, a 2.6 in the front and a 2.3 in the rear. This to me is a relative toss-up because I think wheel sizes are a more personal decision and one is not really better than the other. So it just depends on what you're looking for, but we'll talk more about that in the ride review. Finally, let's take a quick look at pricing because of course that is going to be a factor in which bike you might end up getting. The Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4 is offered for $61.99 and the Specialized Turbo Levo comp is $7,500. But of course, specs can't tell you everything. You have got to ride these things to get a good feel of which bike might be better and which bike is better for you. So we are going to take these things out. You're going to hear from me and Hector on the Specialized Turbo Levo comp, and you're going to hear from me on the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4. Now before we get started in the ride review, I do want to make one thing very clear. I think both of these bikes are excellent bikes. It just depends on what you're looking for is the main thing. While they offer slightly different experiences based on the nuance of each bike in particular, I don't think you can really go wrong with either bike. So if you're in a situation where one is available and the other one isn't, I wouldn't drag your feet on getting to test ride both because I do think they offer generally the same sort of ride. We'll talk about those nuances, of course, in the ride review, but I just wanted to make it clear that both of these are excellent bikes, and you should by no means be watching this video to find a clear winner, because a lot of the determining factors aren't going to be about the bikes, it's going to be about you as a rider. What I can say for sure is that both of these companies are the best Brose e-bike companies in the world right now. They offer better bikes than anyone else doing Brose, and that's why we are comparing these two, because they are the best of the best. All right, guys, let's take this brand new 2021 E-Stream EVO AM4 for a quick ride, see what's going on with it. There goes Austin on the C62, woo! Pretty enduro-y sort of ride we have here, which is interesting to try this more all-mountain bike on. I'm really digging it, and it does work on this enduro stuff pretty well. Got a couple berms here, boom, boom, which you know it's gonna be good for. Send it off that little jump. There he goes. Woo, not for me. Oh yeah, this is great. Nice little berm here.
All right, guys, let's take this out for a spin. Locked and loaded here. Whew. Nice little jump. I'm gonna avoid this gap. Get some speed for this one. Nice kicker. Damn, this thing is so smooth. New course, so it's gonna stay away from those jumps right now. Oh man, but this thing is eating it up. It wants to go faster.
All right, let's keep going. This all-mountain style, though, should be pretty solid for this kind of... You can do some pretty intense stuff if you want. Woo! Like it for these little jumps. This trail's nice for guys like me, and this bike's nice for guys like me who like to go hard when they can, but they don't want to get stuck behind something they can't handle. And this bike can handle a lot. Pretty much everything you throw at it. Oh, it's a big drop, I like it. Woo. The little boy jump. Let's get this one entirely. This bike is kind of crushing though. It's really for 2.8-inch tires too, like handles really well.
I gotta be honest, this year I'm not sure what Specialized did, but it feels so much lighter than last year's. Nimble, easy to use. Look at this. Super fun to get down here. Woo. Suspension feels great. Got that Fox suspension. Fox 36 means it's nice and light. Can tackle some jumps, but really good for those long excursions where you don't want to be carrying that extra weight of a Fox 38 or RockShox Lyric. We're heading back down, pretty loose trail. Drop that dropper. Here we go. Let's check out how well it can maneuver. Nice and easy. Woo! Now we're picking up some speed. Wow. The 2021 Levo feels so good.
So I try to be a positive guy, so let's start off with things that I liked about both of the bikes. So both of the bikes, in my opinion, from my level of riding, I would rate myself about intermediate, not quite to that advanced level. I'm doing like 5-foot jumps and I can handle some pretty, intense downhill, some single track kind of stuff. I will definitely say that neither of these bikes felt like they didn't offer enough in terms of suspension and ride feel. So I definitely felt like both bikes offered enough for me as a rider. Now that said, I will say I think the Specialized Turbo Levo comp is probably better suited for people who are looking to ride a little bit more aggressively. For instance, Hector is a much better rider than I am, and I think he felt more at home on the Specialized Turbo Levo comp, whereas I probably felt more at home on the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4. That's probably what I would have gone with. The Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4 I think is great for intermediate riders and even advanced riders, but it is definitely like an out-and-out electric bike. Those plus-size tires on the 27.5-inch wheels instead of the 29ers. So I think it basically offers new riders a safer ride and a ride that's gonna feel more comfortable, whereas the Specialized bike is gonna offer more speed and out and out, like going super fast downhill. They both can get going as fast as you pretty much wanted to, but for instance, the 29er wheels are gonna be more appropriate for someone who's looking to go super fast downhill, whereas the 27.5-inch wheels on the plus size tires, they offer some good agility and maneuverability, but they also offer a ton of comfort features and also just more confidence. It's more confidence inspiring downhill, in my opinion. I do have to admit I was pretty blown away by the level of specs that you were getting on the drivetrain from the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4. That is a really nice touch. That Shimano DRXT derailleur, it just is so smooth. It's been one of my favorite derailleurs forever, and I really liked having that nice high-end derailleur with a ton of climbing power with that 10 to 51 tooth cassette. Of course, you're getting the 10 to 51 tooth cassette on the Specialized bike as well, but it's the Shimano SLX, which is a slightly lower derailleur than the Shimano DRXT. I think my suspicion that more acoustic riders and more kind of pro-feely advanced riders would like the Specialized Turbo Levo comp better, whereas more intermediate to beginning riders might like the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4 a little bit better, is confirmed when you look at the side-by-side comparison of the geometries. So as you can see, it's a little more aggressive from the Specialized bike, so it will open you up to some more enduro riding along with that 160 millimeters of travel, whereas the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4 is more of an all-mountain cross-country bike through and through. So yes, you can do some enduro riding with it for sure, but it is definitely more designed for those nice single track sections, some nice flowy sections. Climbing, it's gonna be great on this bike. Really just an all-around cross-country, all-mountain EMTB experience. So if you're looking to get out to grow into some enduro riding and some jumping, the Specialized Turbo Levo comp might be that. But for exploration, going out on new trails, rock gardens, and even doing a couple of smaller jumps, the Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4 is probably the more appropriate option. All in all, again, I'd like to reiterate, you can't really go wrong with either of these bikes. Specialized, of course, people are gonna notice you out on the trails with their designs and stuff like that, the Specialized name emblazoned across the side. Or if you're someone who wants to save a little bit of money while still getting an excellent Brose S Mag motor on a bike with a huge battery. Maybe go with that Bulls E-Stream EVO AM4 until it's time to buy the next bike. And when it is, come back to the Fly Rides Electric Bike channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you know when we have more videos coming out. And also, please like this video if you found it helpful in deciding which bike you're going to be getting, or maybe it was just a little bit of more information for the old noggin there, up in the old vault. Just put it away and store it for later. If you're still deciding which motor you want to get, check out our Brose versus Bosch video. And if you're looking for more reviews, check out our EMTB reviews playlist. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and until next time, enjoy the ride.